Hey guys, Mike the Caveman Q here from Paleo Primal Long Island at MikeTheCaveman.com, and today we're going to do our much anticipated ketogenic calzone recipe. Now, the original inspiration for the recipe is the fact that my father, who unfortunately was recently diagnosed with cancer, which is why we have him on a ketogenic protocol, was really missing pizza. So I said, you know what? Let's figure out a way to get him his pizza. And we've done it a couple of times now, and he truly loves it. This recipe originally comes from Joel Tillman over at the Ketogenic Kitchen. However, we tweaked it up a little bit, changed a couple of the ratios, and we cook it for a little bit different times. But I want to thank him over there at the Ketogenic Kitchen for the inspiration for our recipe here. Now the first thing we're going to do is cut up or shred the mozzarella cheese so it can be melted easier. Now while we're melting the mozzarella cheese, what we're going to do is we're going to mix in a magic bullet the other ingredients. Now you can do it by hand or you can do it in a blender, but I always find it easier to use the magic bullet. It's shorter and it allows us to do it nice and quick and consistently even. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take our egg. We're going to crack that into the container here. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to take 2 ounces of organic Valley cream cheese, and then we're going to take our 3/4 of a cup of almond flour, and we're going to mix the majority of it into the magic bullet as well. However, we're going to save some on the side. What that's going to do is going to allow us to keep our hands dry when we're making the rest of our dough. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the cap, put it on, and shake it up a little bit. Shake it up again. The dryness of the almond flour is going to slow it down a little bit. Okay, now that our mozzarella is melted, it's nice and golden, what we can do is we're going to add that to our container here, so be careful. It generally will be very hot. So we're going to add that. A lot of it will be melted on the bottom there. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a spatula and you're going to clean out the bottom. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to add the lid back onto the magic bullet. And again, shake it up. That way everything has a chance to mix up a little bit again. Put it on. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 teaspoons of skinny fat olive, alright? Just like olive oil, only it's also an MCT oil blend, and what that does is it allows us to cook at a higher smoke point and not worry about any kind of oxidative damage. So we're going to take 2 teaspoons, and we're going to apply it to our tin foil pan here that we have prepared for our dough itself. Okay, now that we have that lined up, I'm going to take out my dough. Now, as I said before, I saved a little bit of the almond flour to coat my hands with first, just that way to ensure they're nice and dry. Okay, now I'm going to take my dough. I'm going to bring it out, and as we see, starting to form a nice, stretchy pizza dough. Crazy, I know. But what happens is the proteins in the cream cheese and in the mozzarella cheese, they act as the gluten would and they make it nice and sticky. Now, if you do have a casein sensitivity, that is something to be aware of. These are, of course, for people who tend to do pretty well with dairy. Alright, pull out the rest of it. This is some of the stickier stuff. So I'm going to need to reapply some more. The last of the almond flour, reapply that, and we're going to mix it like this. Just keep folding and kneading the dough, just like you would if you're making a traditional pizza. And there you have it, our ketogenic calzone pizza dough. Now, what I like to do at this point is I like to add my spices. That way it's right baked into the center of it. Now, I'm going to add some black pepper. Nice thin layer across the top. Some garlic powder. I go a little heavy on the garlic. And some real salt, some Redmond pink salt. Now, normally I'll add some oregano, some basil, some other, Italian style herbs. My father doesn't really like those ones. And then once we have those spices, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put it in the oven for about 10 minutes or until the sides begin to crisp. I'll see you then. Okay, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to take out our dough, as you see. It's starting to rise a little bit, starting to crisp up nicely. Okay, we're going to let this now cool for about a minute or two. Then we're going to flip it and add our... Okay, at this point, we're going to add our grass-fed ricotta cheese. We're going to add about half a cup. And in order to do that, we're going to use 8 tablespoons, which is equivalent to half a cup. So we're going to take each spoon, add it on in. After that, we're going to take our pepperoni, and we're going to start to lay that out over there relatively evenly around the side of the calzone. Now you notice we're only using 1/2 of it because obviously in a minute what we're going to do is we're going to start to fold it over. Now, when you're starting to fold it over, be very conscious of pinching together the sides, that way none of the stuffing is able to leak out. So you pinch the sides in together. At that point, we're ready to go. At this point, we're going to take our dough and we're going to throw it back in the oven for another 15 to 20 minutes. And there we have it, our finished calzone, without many of the carbs or any of the wheat, yet still tasting and looking just as delicious as a calzone you'd grab at a pizzeria.